The third unfinished initiative is to take 10% of what is given so that it might go outside our walls to the city of Chicago and around the world. Some of this will go for grants, for social enterprises, for works that will start in some of the neighborhoods we are going to move into.
So to the extent that social entrepreneurs are in the business of job creation, we'd like that in and of itself is just a great way to influence a neighborhood and by extension the entire city.
It starts with the garden, right? When God decided to make Adam and he decided to disciple him and how to exercise his dominion over creation, the first thing he did, he gave him a job. And so Harambe does that in the context of a family-like atmosphere.
You know, Harambe is about tuck pointing, which is sort of the border between bricks.
It's just that the work is really hard and dirty, but the reality is that if they can kind of succeed and thrive in that kind of environment where you're working really hard, but there's really great kind of relational connections around you supporting each other, that they can survive anywhere.
Harambe is a ministry that originally started in St. Louis. If somebody is doing something in another city and it's working, we should be humble enough to say, hey, that's a great idea. How can we learn from them? So Jason Helveston and a couple of other of us went down to Harambe in St. Louis just to observe how they did it.
Our boss in St. Louis asked if we would meet with Mark Blackwell, who attends here at Park, and that he had been basically gathering different people together as a board to get Harambe started in Chicago. One of those things we kind of had to wrestle a little bit, and that some of the other options didn't pan out, and this is the one that did. And so the timing of it happened in just the way that God kind of orchestrated that we would come here.
My name is Yami Lei. My life before Harambe, I was just a high school kid going to school. I love the job. I love tuck pointing. I love it. When I'm grinding, I'm just thinking about whatever. I'm singing songs in my head. I'm probably chewing gum like, okay, let me just go to the beat of my gum or something. I'm just like, okay. And it's like Harambe brought us more. It's like the first summer of Harambe, it was just a whole bunch of different races of kids and talking about our little stories, just little pieces, and realizing like, okay, well, you know, I'm not the only one. When you live in a neighborhood that's so corrupt, losing people is probably like the most hurtful thing. I lost a friend in 2012. He was affiliated with a gang. He'd known us since we were pretty young. We watched his kids, like if he would go out with his wife, just a bond, you know, sitting on the porch on a hot summer day, we're all there hanging out. One night, went out to throw garbage, and somebody pulled up in the alley and just was like, oh, give me your money. The first shot was his shoulder, and then the gunman had run up on him. His wife had came out in the front, and then he just laid flat on the floor. I remember coming after school and just seeing everybody at the house. It was a painful feeling. But just puddles of blood everywhere. His daughters are there asking, where's my dad? To lose somebody that's right there that you know personally, just the next day they're gone. Through gang violence, it hurts.
There was a kid in St. Louis who described it this way, like the neighborhood before Harambe, there was like two options, like join a gang or hide. And we've met families kind of of both sorts, you know, where like literally the mom has every video game because she wants her boys to stay inside because she's afraid of what's outside. And then other families who, for whatever reason, they have their own brokenness, their kids are outside running the streets. He said that Harambe gave a third option, like that they were basically finally, you didn't have to hide and you didn't have to just join a gang, you could be part of something that was different.
Every neighborhood in the city of Chicago has challenges, but also has strengths and just sort of an intrinsic beauty.
The Harambe puts this place where like that connection, that relationship actually gets to be celebrated and deepened and used for a purpose, and that the kids actually themselves see that like their community's worth something, that they could get a degree and come back and like see it flourish.
Number one thing is getting kids off the street. I think that's the number one thing Harambe is doing, and it was like, hey, let's just get them out the street and teach them a skill. I really want Harambe to extend. I want it to be like where people know, like, Okay, yeah, that's Harambe.
What gets me fired up is the fact that we are building something. It is unfinished, whether that day comes long after we're gone or not. It's a fantastic city.
I think we have the most powerful thing in the world. We have Jesus Christ. Amen. We need strategic action. We need political changes. We need all these things to change. But if we're not dependent on Jesus to do what he says he's going to do, which is to bring peace to this world, all our efforts are just going to lead to more destruction. We have the answer to the divisions in this world, and that's Jesus. It doesn't happen without the church engaging these issues. So I want to encourage us all. We still got work to do.